Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Eclectic Experience. I am your hostess with the mostest, Shy Roslyn. And yes, I know it was supposed to be Friday night news. I was going to do a news update on what's going on in these YouTube streets. But there seems to be a lot going on these YouTube streets. So I'm going to save that for tomorrow while we bead and chat, and I'm going to chat about some of the things that are going on. So, tonight what I wanted to do, um I wanted to share my caregiving story. Um there are a lot of us out there who are providing care for family members and friends, and unpaid and underappreciated. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about my story because I actually have something to celebrate regarding my story. So, in the meantime, please like, subscribe, tell a friend or two or three um, about my channel and my stuff. If it's something that um, excites you or something you're interested in, comments are welcome. Likes again are free. I do have a Cash App if you are so inclined. Or when you watch Beat and Chat tomorrow night, you can purchase projects that are completed through my online store. So, that being said, want to give a shout out to all my new subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate y'all very, very much. New subscribers, new viewers, commenters. You can find me on Facebook as well, and you can also find me on Instagram as Shy Rosalind NDB. So, let's get into it. I promise it won't be long. I know it's Friday night. Folks want to go to the club. But I just wanted to share my story a bit. So I am caregiving for my mom. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all a photo. Let's see, where is she? Okay. I'm going to show this briefly. Come on. I think, yeah, here we go. So, this be my mom. Well, in her younger days, of course, but this be my mom, and she was born in Jamaica and considers herself a. Stop sharing it because I don't want it up there too long. Um, so she it was born in Jamaica, considered herself a British citizen, still does, I think. I'm not sure. Emigrated to the U.S. in the 60s, married my dad, and who himself is going through Alzheimer's. Um, but he is under great care with the Veterans Administration, um, where he is living now, um, with his current wife and her family. So he's got a really good caregiver, and he's got an excellent team through the VA watching out for him. So I am up here where I am in the Big Apple, and I am taking care of my soon to be 92-year-old mom. Um, she raised me and my brother. Um, my brother also has a disability, but he is okay. He's fairly independent, so thank goodness. But she developed dementia back in, well, officially diagnosed in 2017, but I suspect it was starting sooner than that. Usually you don't really see the signs until you see the signs. So she was officially diagnosed in 2017, um, and she had a lot of the classic symptoms, um, of dementia, and that's something I think I may have discussed this in an earlier video regarding caregiving. But basically, um, some days she knew who I was, some days she didn't. She became paranoid, accusatory, saying that people were stealing from her, that people were coming into the house, and taking things, and her moods were swinging like a pendulum. One minute she was fine, next minute she was ready to kill somebody. Um, figurative, figuratively speaking, um, and eh, on top of physical ailments that she was having, and then she wasn't recognizing her siblings. She thought her siblings were other people. Um, and it's been a long road. Um, it got to a point where, at one point, I would have to leave the house, literally leave my house, go to a neighbor's house or something, and change twice. I had to change my clothes and then go back, come back home, and she would say, "Well, where have you been?" I've been home all day with her, but she didn't realize that. Um, One night it came to a head. I had gone out, came back in, and it didn't work. Still didn't recognize me, and she was going off. She's trying to throw me out of the house, telling me to get out, and I just said, "I'm not leaving. You're gonna have to just you're gonna have to just relax, go to bed if you want to go to bed, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm your daughter." And she blew up, locked herself in her bedroom. And my aunt, bless her heart, came over the next day to have a chat with her and to visit. And she asked her, "Hey, what's going on with you?" And my mom didn't want to talk about it. After my aunt left, her mom says, "Don't tell people my business." Yeah, well, I am, because I am going to protect myself. I'm not going to let her tell other people that I'm doing things that I'm not doing. So I am one of the fortunate ones. I do have emotional support, um, from friends and family. Um, my cousins have been very helpful, and with emotional support. Every now and then they come by and visit. So, but the one thing I didn't have was professional assistance. Um, I was managing up until 2021. I was diagnosed with uterine cancer, and I had to have a hysterectomy. And that is kind of the um come to Jesus moment because I had to have this major surgery, and the surgeon said, "Well, I'll do my best that you can go home the same day, but if there are complications, you may have to stay overnight." I have yet to be out of this house overnight. I didn't know what she was going to do. My brother, he would have been okay, but my mom, who knows what she was going to do. And I had to bring somebody in. Fortunately, I found someone that we knew. A former neighbor of ours was willing to come, and I warned her. I said, "Listen, keep your fingers crossed that I can come home, and but be prepared. Bring a change of clothes because you might have to stay overnight." And she was prepared. I received a monetary gift from someone to cover the expenses of having someone, and my aunt volunteered to see me off to the hospital in the morning. So it fortunately it all worked out. Um I came home the same day, late at night, but I came home the same day. My cousin brought me home, and I had help for the first 3 weeks after surgery because I'm not allowed to lift anything after hysterectomy. You're not allowed to lift anything more than 2 pounds the first 3 weeks, and I think it's 2 pounds, then 5, and then 10. So I basically couldn't lift anything, couldn't vacuum, couldn't clean, couldn't do what I wanted to do. Um, and I still had to keep mom together. So I managed to do it with some help. And that's when my mom's doctor, who was a great advocate, she said, you have to get some help. So that's what I did. Um, that's why I'm kind of celebrating. It's been a long journey, and finally, I got approval for some respite care, and I'm going to explain what that is. So while I pull up some information, just want to remind everyone that you are watching The Eclectic Experience. I am your hostess with the mostest. I'm Shy Rosalind. Likes are free and greatly appreciated. Comments are always welcome. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to share this page. Yeah. So basically, this this is not the agency that I am using, but this is one of the agencies here, at least here in New York, that provide caregiver support services, and this is kind of a description of what that entails. Um, this is courtesy of, well, they used to be called Visiting Nurse Service. They now changed their name to VNS. Um, and they provide what they call geriatric care management, which basically they have. I have to, whoops. Okay. It's geriatric care management, which is they have like a care manager that can give referrals. The care manager is usually a registered nurse or a social worker. Um, they do assessments to see exactly what your loved one needs. Um, and in that respect, it helps keep your loved one out of the hospital as much as possible. They oversee medications. If they need health a healthcare aide to come in and assist with um, they call it activities of daily living, like taking a bath, if they need to be fed, if meals need to be cooked for the person. Like for example, in my mother's case, the one person that helps me out, I set up I set up the meals and she warms them up so that my mom doesn't have to touch the stove because my mom does not do well with the stove anymore. She also does not do well with washing the dishes. For some reason, she's in love with dish liquid, and yeah. Anyway, I digress. Um, they also provide in some cases, some agencies do, some don't. But sometimes they will take the person to the medical appointment for you. If that's the case, in our case, we have a nurse practitioner that comes to the home once a month, and any any meetings with her doctor are over telehealth because I'm no longer able to actually bring her anywhere. Um, and then, if you need help with filing insurance claims, any kind of paperwork for pre-authorizations and things like that, the geriatric care manager does help you with that. Um, And then also, some caregiver support services include support groups where you meet monthly or twice a month with other caregivers to, vent and vent and discuss issues that are going on, and get some ideas, bounce ideas off each other. Um, some caregiving groups are online, some are in person, some are like over Zoom, and it depends on the agency that you're working with. Um, what else? They also, and every state has their own um agencies, and what do they call it, like elder care or department of adult services or something to that effect. That's usually where anyone would start if you find yourself in this situation. So, or you can, Google healthcare, um geriatric care management in whatever state you're living in, and you can, be directed that way. I happen to find the assistance that I'm getting, I found it through my mother's doctor. She actually had what they call community health service workers that reach out to patients, elderly patients and the families, to help them look up resources and make referrals to different agencies that can assist with different things. So I lucked out, and the lady was very helpful, and she referred me to a couple of places. One of them had budget cuts, and then the second one I applied to, bingo, I managed to get some respite care. Now, respite care is not permanent, at least not in where we live. It's not permanent. It's a certain amount of hours, and it's a certain amount of hours, and it's only once the hours are used up, that's it. And the goal is to provide as much um assistance to the caregiver until um more permanent um a more permanent health aid arrangement can be made, either through Medicaid, or which is usually how it works. They want Medicaid, or in some cases, if the person doesn't qualify for Medicaid, then you would need to do a some kind of self pay arrangement. Um, so it depends on your loved one. It depends on the situation that you're in. So I'm gonna share some statistics. Let me stop this one. Bear with me a second. And yes, you're watching the Eclectic Experience. Yes, it's a change. We're gonna do Beat and Chat tomorrow night. We're gonna talk about what's going on in these YouTube streets. It's a lot going on, and I need to do a little more research. Let's see. We're going to go to. I'm gonna show this one. So I'm just gonna show some statistics, just to give everybody a general idea. This is based. This was done in 2020. Obviously, it's changed. I guess the next, whatever the next update is, but in 2020, there were 53 million people providing unpaid caregiving services. Um, yeah, 53 million people providing unpaid. Why can't I see it? Oops. Sorry, folks. I don't know why it seems like it's stuck. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so in 2015, there were 43.5 million people who were providing unpaid caregiving services. In 2020, it was 53 million. It's probably gone up or since 2020. Um, Providing unpaid care to an adult with health or functional needs. Um, then you have 24% of those people are caring for more than one person. Um, 26% are having trouble coordinating care, and 61% of caregivers are women. Now, 39% are men. There are a lot of men who are caring for a parent or a loved one or a spouse. So I never just say it's only women. The men are doing it too. Um, and 45% of caregivers have had some kind of financial impact. Either you had to cut back hours or stop working altogether, which is what happened to me. I had to cut back my hours, and that wasn't helping. And I eventually stopped working and began freelancing just to bring some kind of income into the house. Um, so yes, I am living that life, y'all. The respite services that I qualify for are free, thank goodness. Um, and there's other assistance that I am in the process of looking into to see. The good thing is my brother is receiving pretty much the maximum amount of benefits that someone can get with his condition. So that definitely helps a lot. Um, but I just wanted to present some statistics just to give you guys an idea. So when somebody says, "Yeah, I'm taking care of my grandma," or "I'm taking care of my parent or my mother-in-law or my father-in-law or my spouse," you have a spouse and they've had a stroke or some kind of catastrophic injury, you are a caregiver and you are not alone. Um, I think that's the number one thing most of us as caregivers do. It's a lonely journey, um, very lonely journey, because sometimes, your friends and family, you can't vent to them all the time. Sometimes they just don't get it. um how come you can't come out with us anymore? How come you can't meet me for lunch? Because I have to scramble and find someone to stay at the house, and then I have to have extra money to pay the person to stay. And it's a long road, and your watch does not end until the person you're caring for passes away. And it can be anywhere from, depending on how ill the person is, it can be 2 years, it can be 10 years. Um, I am part of a caregiving group where people have been caring for a loved one for 15 years. And the person who's doing the caregiving is also like someone over 65. They should be retired and they're going to need services themselves, but there's no services to be had. So, um it's a long road, and it is a struggle. There are good days, there are bad days. I'm trying to see how this is. Oh, I did this already. Sorry, I'm just double checking. Okay. Uh all right. Sorry, I thought I had the wrong screen up, but oops. So, yeah, it's been difficult. But finally some light at the end of the tunnel. It's taken me over a year to get to the point where, okay, I need to, buckle down and see if I can get some help. And it's finally coming to fruition. So, my mom's about to turn 92, and some days she knows me, some days she's not so sure. Sometimes she does try to run. That's the other thing, especially with dementia and Alzheimer's patients. If they are still physically active, they do try to run. It's called sundowning. It usually happens at night, and but it can happen during the day. My mother did this during the day. She tried to run. Well, she couldn't really run, but during the summer, I would have to take her on walks because she kept insisting on going back home to the home she grew up in her country that she came from. And I had to uh I had to walk with her just to get her out of the house so she would think she went home and came back. And one day she left and she dashed out the house, fell down on her face, and we spent 7 hours in the ER. Luckily, nothing was broken. They didn't keep her. They didn't admit her. She came back home. But after that, she kind of slowed down. She stopped, like, actually running out. But she still tries every now and then. She still goes to the front door and tries to open it. So, but it is what it is. Um, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to this journey. Um, I'm not revealing all the details because I do want to keep some dignity for my mom. But I, wanted to share a little bit of my story. If you are a caregiver and you want to share some of your story on my channel, I'm more than happy to do. We can do a chat, and if y'all want to, if you want to know more information, you can go to aarp.org. They have a lot of information on caregiving, a lot of statistics, a lot of research, place and referrals. If you can also go to your state's Department of the Aging, and they can help you as well. There are a lot of caregiving groups online, so I would encourage y'all to join one. It's helpful to talk to people who are already going through or have gone through this caregiving. Well, they call it a journey, but you know, I wouldn't call it that, but it is what it is. I mean, the bottom line is we care about our loved ones, we want the best for them. Nursing homes are not what they used to be. Some are still okay, some are still good, a lot of them are not. And I mean, I don't even want my mom to end up in the hospital for any length of time, because even the hospitals, some of them are really good, some of them are not. So, we, the unpaid and unappreciated, are the ones basically frontline to try and keep people out of the hospital and to help this government we supposedly have save money by not increasing pay for healthcare workers who deserve it, and not increasing resources for people who need the services. It's a quality of life issue, and those of us who are doing this unpaid and unappreciated caregiving thing are just trying to keep a decent quality of life for our loved ones. So that being said, I am happy to say that I'm finally getting some professional help, and yay, I'm celebrating. And I have mentioned, like I said, I've mentioned before that, I am going through this caregiving journey, and I wanted to share a little bit of that with you guys tonight. So, that being said, I, I am going to sign off for now, and I am very happy to have been able to share my story with you guys tonight. Again, you've watched the Eclectic Experience, And please like, subscribe. Comments are always welcome. Likes are free and always appreciated. Tell a friend or two or three. Um, Let them know about this channel. Suggestions for um, topic suggestions are always welcome as well. And hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow for Beat and Chat. I'm I'm gonna try and do it before 9:30, y'all, but we'll see how it goes. So I hopefully will catch you guys tomorrow night. Thank you for joining me and enjoy the rest of your weekend.